we have covered everything that is supposed to be covered for the year. But you take a class next year that if you don't pass that class, you don't graduate. Now, to be true, if you don't pass the Regents for the class. And the Regents is pretty challenging. So, there are some skills you're gonna learn next year that you didn't learn this year. And what I wanna do for each of the next few weeks is on the first day of the week, we're gonna, first, second, and third days of the week, we're gonna teach you some of those skills. Obviously, we're not teaching the whole course, but some real foundational, fundamental ones, so that when you go to the high school next year, you have a little head start on everybody. We're gonna teach you those for 3 days, then you're gonna do a pre-test, then we're gonna do a test. So that's what our weeks will look like for most of the rest of the year. Now, for the next 2 or 3 weeks, we're gonna teach you the new stuff, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, then Thursday, Friday test. And then after those 2 or 3 weeks go by, we'll do just review for the rest of the year. One thing you'll notice is that the sheets are shorter. We don't have the pressure over us that we have had over us throughout the earlier part of the year. So I think on a lot of days, you're going to be able to get your homework done before you actually leave to go home from the classroom. If that's the case and you want to hand it to me to check off before you go home, you can do that, so you get credit for it. In a lot of ways, I think the class gets easier for you, and it's certainly less suffocating. Because, as I said, everything that the state demands that you learn for the year, we have learned. I just don't want to stop learning new stuff. I don't want to spend the whole rest of the year just reviewing, when we've even spent the last 2 or 3 weeks reviewing for the state assessment test. Okay? So, without any further ado, let's go over today's quiz. One more try to get 100 on it tomorrow. We're not going to have a quiz Wednesday. And then we won't have a quiz Thursday, but we will have the test Friday. And then next week, we'll have quizzes on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. The week after that, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and so on. We won't have a quiz that one Friday. We come back that day all by itself to make up for snow days. Now, complete the table below with the missing values for x. So as we take a look at this table, we're always looking to find the slope. And if we're looking to find the slope, we're noticing patterns in the table. This guy's going what? Down by 2. And this guy's going up by 1. So if I go 4 down 2, it's 2, and yes, Mr. Roach, we don't leave the bottom box empty. 2 go down by 2,
Wow.
we get 0. That costs Roach 100.
Thanks for that. It's a little hard.
It's harsh that you didn't do it, don't blame me. Now, as far as the equation goes, there are some people who aren't even coming close. There was like one person who wrote me a sentence,
Me.
and there was another person who wrote me like just -4. Or -2, or whatever they wrote. Look,
Oh, I put
it
negative
says,
two, my bad.
write a function rule. In this case, it's a linear table, so the function rule has to follow in linear format. Y equals mx plus b. So, the slope is, as we said before, change in y over change in x. The change in y was -2. The change in x was +1. So I get -2 over 1. So I get y equals -2x plus b. Now, b is the y-intercept, and it's always attached. It's the output when you input 0. So, that means my equation is y equals -2x plus 2. Because the y-intercept, the thing that is across from 0 input, the output is 2. So y equals -2x plus 2. Look, that's real doable. Now, the last time you took a quiz was Thursday because I was out Friday. So now that you've had a chance to review it, I do expect tomorrow that the overwhelming majority of you would all get that question right. Next. I think sometimes that you don't read carefully enough. Because you mess up, either that or the other possibility is that you mess up which is the x-axis and which is the y-axis. Now, I really don't think that's that big a deal, but it says here, if you notice, reflect over the, and look what it says right here, x-axis. So, there are some people who drew it over here. Guys, it says it right there. What letter is that up top there?
Y.
Y. So if you go this way, you're going over the y-axis. We're supposed to be going over the x-axis. So, I do count, and repeat. Actually, I'm a little sloppy here, 1, 2, this should be the point right here. And then this should be, 1, 2, 1, 2, and then this should be up 3 is right, up 3 is right. Oh, hold it. There is. Now, you have to remember to label the graph. If you don't label the graph, I took some points off. It's very important to do that because it actually says in the instruction, label it. So make sure that you go over the x-axis, not the y-axis. And as far as the explanation goes, a lot of people got it right, but some people were just lacking a little bit. Look, I counted 1, 2, 3, and repeated 1, 2, 3, but you have to say over the x-axis, because that's what you were going to. So you have to say, I counted the distance to the x-axis and repeated it, or I counted and repeated the distance to the x-axis, something to that effect. Okay, any questions? Good. All right, you should have completed to do it to your lesson sheet for today, but I have a feeling that you might not have. So I'm going to give you another 90 seconds to do that. And that's important because I have the wrong equations here, so I have to change them. So you got about 90 seconds to get this all done if you have not gotten it done already. Okay, boys, hey, come on, turn, face forward, Christian. Yeah.
Did you take out the turf?
We saw it the other day, but I don't know if they worked on it on the weekend. The turf looks really good. The big thing we have to see is if they have, if they did the sod. Can we not get face forward, right? Let's concentrate, do what we're supposed to do. If you're not done with those, you got about 45 seconds left. Okay. Now, these three equations are very representative of skills you should be good at, okay? I would call these fundamental basic equations that you should leave 8th grade very good at doing. Now, first one, opposite side, opposite operation. Add 3 into both sides. Die, be very careful. That's a -8 equals 4, and I got a problem. What's my problem? There's no solution. -8 never equals 4. If it's never equal, there's never a solution.
On one of the tests that we took, I remember putting there's no solution, but you said yes there was.
If they're the same number, then there are. If it said 4 equals 4. Yeah, there's infinite answers. I think your memory's a little withdrawn. Okay, next one. This, however, is an opposite side, opposite operation situation. So I'm going to do -a to both sides. And I get 4a minus 14 equals 26. Add the 14 to both sides. Die. 4a equals 26. Divide by 4. A equals 4. Very, very routine. We have done so many questions like that this year. that you should just be looking at them going, this is easy, I'm very comfortable with this.
I thought it was supposed to be 40.
Oh, I'm sorry, 40 is right,
That would be 10.
Oh.
and that would make it 10, sorry
Oh, my
about that.
bad, my bad, my bad. I was
Now.
right the whole time.
Next one, distribute to 3, and I get 3x plus 12 plus x minus 2 equals 20 minus x. Now I have to do a same side, same operation situation, and this definitely relates to what we're gonna cover in class today. 3x plus another x is 4x's. 12 and negative 2 is 10, equals 20 minus x. Now, it looks like this question. We've changed it from a distribute and the same side, same operation to an opposite side, opposite operation. So first I add x to both sides, and I get 5x plus 10 equals 20. Then I minus 10 from both sides. Die. I get 5x is equal to 20. Divide by 5. X is 4. And there is my correct answer.
Oh, okay, I see what I
Okay.
did. Okay, I see.
All right. So again, those equations are, I mean, if we counted how many times this year we've done equations like that, it's got to be 100 times, maybe more. Okay. What property, this is not the same as the one on your ditto sheet. On your ditto sheet, what property did I use? Distributed, very good. Okay. Now, there, I was, listening to, or, oh, God, no, never.
Rock,
No,
Jay-Z.
Drake, Alain Lynn.
I don't listen to rap,
Artist,
Billy
the
Joel.
song.
mostly no, a little bit.
Young Thugs, Future.
Little Weezy.
You mean the criminal?
Daddy Yankee.
Little Big, Little Easy, the criminal, the one who went in jail for dealing?
Young Thugs.
Big
Sound. Set,
Yeah.
Chavo, Chapo.
No,
Yeah, it
Chapo.
probably is. I know, Mr.
Banda.
I read this webpage. Now, you should know some things about it, politically. I am what you call a conservative.
What that means that.
It means I really don't want government in my life.
Oh, okay.
Leave me the heck alone.
Don't want to be free.
I do want to be free.
You don't
Yeah,
want
me too. I want to run this piece.
I agree with paying some taxes. I agree with paying, like, you need a police force, you need the roads repaired, you need, certain, the fire department, you need basic things. But I do not believe in massive taxation. And our government right now is kind of leaning toward the massive taxation side. I also don't believe, like, I'll give you just a great for instance of what I just think is so stupid with our government, and you're going to agree with me.
Obama.
But that's besides the point. Now,
Obama, you serious?
oh, I think there's lots of things that can be said about Obama, and you're gonna say one in just a minute. Ready? You're gonna say one in just a minute. Ready? Here you go. What do you think of your school lunches?
It's horrible.
Oh my God.
Horrible. Now, are you old enough? You're not old enough to remember, because before Barack Obama was elected, that was 7 years ago, and you guys were in first grade.
Yeah, I remember back in the day. I used to
Back
make
in the day,
$100.
back in the day, a lunch was a lunch,
Yeah,
you know?
back in the day.
Now they make you have whole wheat rolls,
Bruh.
because the government has decided that
It's
you should eat that.
Oh.
They're telling you what you should eat.
People don't eat that.
No, and that's exactly right. And here's Christian. Christian is nailing the whole point.
Go Christian.
Christian, please say what you just said.
Go, Christian.
They just throw it out.
That's right. No one eats it, they just throw it out. Have you ever noticed how many people get what you get for? How often as you walk down the line do they go, you have to take one?
Oh
Yeah,
my God.
You hear them say that all the
I don't want
time.
milk.
You have to
Like,
take an
you need a
apple.
milk.
You have to take the fruit. You gotta take this. And you guys walk outside and what do you do with it?
Throw it out.
Throw it in the garbage. People
Basically
pay
waste
tax,
of
hold
money.
it. They took my tax money for that.
I'm
They took
sorry.
tax
I'm
money.
sorry.
No, here's my point. My point is not this. My point is that nowadays the government believes that they have the right to say, this is how you're going to eat. And then they can say to other people, you need to pay for how they're going to eat. So we're gonna take your money, we're gonna tell them how to eat, and then you're gonna say, when you throw it out, what you're really saying is, don't you tell me how to eat. I'm gonna eat what I wanna eat.
Oh,
Isn't that what you're really saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
So then, you walk over and say, fine, give me that food, I'm throwing it out, and then where do you go? Snack line, or,
Deli.
no, then you would've gotten that the first time through. Or you go to the vending machines. You go to snack or vending, and you eat what you wanna eat.
The only
Word.
good thing
Now-
there is like the.
Savage.
So, now, that's just one point of what a lot of people would call government waste. Yes?
Or they could bring food from home.
What?
I'll bring
Oh, yeah, sure, that's, absolutely, bring home food from home. So here's the question, let me ask you a question, hold it.
I tried to-
How many dollars a day worth of food do you think gets thrown in that garbage can?
One with the one.
Hundreds, for sure, hundreds.
Millions.
Now, let's say, how many people in this class throw out part of their lunch every day?
Me.
All right, that's virtually the whole class. So let's go with 90% of the students. Now, in this school, excuse me, in this school, there are approximately 600 students. So that means 540 of them throw that stuff out. How much does lunch cost a day? 250,
I
275.
pay that.
So-
Listen, they'll like give me a
Hold
bunch
it.
of this.
So basically, that's $1,000 a day wasted. Yeah. Now that's one middle school on all of Long Island. Now think about all of Long Island and what's wasted. So what a conservative would say is this. The conservative would say this, you know what? Don't tell anybody how to eat. Let them eat what they want. It's their business. And then, some people who believe in big government believe the government has the right to say, how could you eat like that? You don't eat like that. You can eat the way I tell you to eat.
You know what the
So I'm
worst
gonna
part
put
is?
this on your plate. Don't you dare walk down that line without taking it. Well, your mom has that right. The school, in my opinion, does not, and I certainly don't believe the people in Washington do.
They should order
But
Domino's.
it is Barack Obama's wife, Michelle Obama, who made those rules.
I remember they.
Yes.
I remember they took pink.
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Are you sure?
100%.
They should have a Subway for.
1,000%.
Are you positive?
Super.
Are you sure?
Go Google, when you go home, Google Michelle Obama school lunch.
Bro, I remember
She
back
made it
in the
even
day,
worse.
calzones
I remember the
and
last
stuff
time
like
I
that,
did
they
get
sure
sure they
don't
took
get it.
pink milk from us.
Maybe they said you can't have strawberry milk, who knows?
That's what they said.
I don't know.
I remember back
Now,
in the day.
okay, now, I don't wanna go too nuts on that, excuse me.
We have one more question.
Attention, hold it, no more about that. So anyway, is this your pencil? Now,
I remember back in the day when the pizza used to be squares.
are you gonna look this way or not? Chris, keep down. Now, here's the thing. I read these conservative website things, and there's one called the Drudge Report, and it's by a journalist by the name of Matt Drudge, and what he does is he goes all around the country and he finds these political articles, and he puts the political articles up on this one website, and you look through and you decide if you want to read any of them. So I was on there maybe a week or two ago, and some professor at some college somewhere, like a sociology professor,
Ooh.
and they study like societies, they gave this speech about why kids don't need algebra anymore. That was what the article was all about. Kids don't need algebra. And I was very frustrated in reading the article by her because it was obvious to me that she didn't know anything about algebra. Now, anybody here take a foreign language?
Oh, like,
Okay.
like right now?
I took Spanish when I was in school.
Like that right español.
You want to know the great thing about Spanish as far as I was concerned? First of all, there's two things Spanish was good for with me. The first thing that Spanish was good for was that I did learn some basic Spanish. Yo hablo un poquito español. I happen to teach a lot of kids who come from a Spanish heritage. So I can't understand, if they go fast, I can't understand at all. But if they slow it down, I can get the gist of what they're trying to say. And I can also, I can also talk back a little bit in Spanish. And a couple of years ago in the high school, I had the privilege and the blessing to teach a class that was bilingual. And I would actually end up, that's why I do the circle agregar kind of thing and so on and so forth. So that's helped me a little bit. But what's really helped me about Spanish, I learned more about English from learning Spanish.
I learned Spanish.
This is how, Chris, I'll explain it to you. I'm 100% accurate when I say that, and most people would tell you this is true. When you're raised speaking English, you don't understand the structure of English. You spent your whole life hearing it, you speak it, you don't know the rules and the patterns and the things behind English, or you take them for granted. But when I learned Spanish, I learned things about verb tenses and the way to structure a sentence and the importance of consistency more so than I ever realized about English. So by learning Spanish, of course I learned more English in English class. But what Spanish did was fine-tune my understanding of English. So taking a foreign language made me much better in my native tongue. Now, what algebra does for people, algebra is it's a method of logic and reasoning and understanding. So one of the things in logic that's so important in reasoning and algebra is this concept called combining like terms. Now, to me, combining like terms is very much like doing laundry. Anybody here do your own laundry?
Yeah.
I hope so. I hope
Oh
you
my
don't
God,
have mom and
I'm
dad
gonna
do your
go
laundry
first.
for you.
I'm
You want
gonna
mom and
go
dad do
first.
your laundry for you? Ishi, be a man. Come on, you gotta do your own laundry.
Oh, he wants to be a man?
Hold it. Hey, Ishi, do you know how hard your mom and dad work for the money to pay for your house?
Yeah.
To pay for your food? The least you could do is say, Mom, Dad, teach me how to do my own laundry. I'll do it. You don't need to do it for me. You would make, yes, good grades make parents so proud because, hey, on the serious side, I'm very, very serious about this. Listen very carefully. Look, we have a lot of people in this class who come from a Spanish background. And for many of you, you are your first generation born in America. And I'm here to tell you that I am the third generation born in America,
Ooh.
in my family. What I mean is my great-great-grandparents came here just like your parents may have come here, or your grandparents came here.
They're
And
savages.
when my great-great-grandparents came here, they were literally starting a new life. And I don't care who you are and where you're from. If you don't have the ability, if you don't have as one of your main goals, people do not come from foreign countries, step into America and get rich. It just doesn't happen very often at all. What people do from foreign countries is they come to America and they say, my children are gonna have a better life. And then my children's children are gonna have a better life. And this is what your parents are saying in no uncertain terms, and this is the truth.
My dad says that.
And your dad is right. Your dad, you don't get this, but your dad is giving up his life and his desires so that you can have yours. And the next time you wanna open your mouth and backtalk, you think about that.
Brother,
That he's given up so much so that you can have so much more than he did. That is what you call, there's 4 words for love, and one of them is called agape. Knock it off. Put your knees under your desk. This is unbelievably serious. One of them is called agape. And agape is a sacrificial love. It's a love where you give of yourself so that another can have something that you can't have. It's the highest form of love on the face of the earth. Now, when your parents do that for you, you can do your own laundry. You can shut your mouth and not backtalk when you want to. These are the things your parents do. Listen, I'm a dad. I raise children. I paid for a house. I come home 9 o'clock at night, Monday through Thursday, to provide for my family. When I walk through that door, I don't want hassle. I don't want an argument. And I get really, really frustrated if someone doesn't keep that in mind when I walk through the door. If all they think about is their own petty little needs and not what's being given to them. Now, all of that said, in algebra, there's logic, there's reasoning, and there's understanding. There's seeing the world from a slightly different way. I was listening to a sermon yesterday by a guy named Ravi Zacharias, who's just brilliant. And he was talking about how the artists in a society sense inequality and unfairness, and they bring it to our attention. And that's what an artist is able to do. They have this pulse behind the feeling of civilization, the feeling of society, and they bring it out in everybody. They bring it out in their music, they bring it out in their paintings, they bring it out in their song, in their art, in everything they do. Well, likewise, in mathematics, there is this thing called eternal truth. It's truth that is forever and ever and ever. And it actually wraps up around algebra, and it wraps up around your laundry. See, if you're doing your laundry, and you make a pile, you put it in the washing machine. I did laundry last night. Put it all in the washing machine, take it out of the washing machine, you put it in the dryer. It gets out of the dryer, and then what are you supposed to do? I don't know if you do it. Fold it, very good.
If you don't fold
And
it,
then,
that's-
when you go upstairs and you go to put it away, hey, don't you take, like, your socks and put them with your socks? I hope so.
No, I don't.
Then you take your undies and you put them with your sweatpants?
Yeah.
No!
Sometimes I'm
You put your undies with your undies, and you put your t-shirts with your t-shirts.
I'm not under my socks.
Excuse me, folks, you organize them. And that's all I'm going to do right here, okay? What I'm going to do right here, very simply, oh, sorry about this. what I'm going to do right here is, I have 4 A's minus an A or another negative A. If I have 4 A's and a negative A, what do I have altogether?
3 A's.
3 A's, very good. And then I have 3 B's and 2 more B's, what do I have?
5 A's.
So this expression is 3A plus 5B.
What?
That's it, that's the goal for the week, just to get you good at this. Let's try the next one, ready? Now, I'm gonna look for my X's first. How many X's do I have here?
4.
No, I don't.
You got 4 X's.
I have
One.
negative.
Negative.
4X.
Oh.
And then I have a positive 1x. What's negative 4x and positive 1x?
Negative 3x.
Negative 3x. What's positive 3 and negative 8?
Negative 5.
Hey, positive 3, negative 8, negative 5. That's my answer, the binomial, negative 3x minus 5. Over here, why are you packing up? Look, turn. What's 3 A's and negative 2 A's?
1a.
1A. You can use your calculator for the whole rest of the year, guys. What's 2B and negative 5B?
Negative 3b.
Negative 3B. What is negative C and negative 2A? Oh, they're different. So I'm going to put a negative C, but now I got to do my negative 2A with my positive 1A. That's negative A minus 3B minus C. Your job, homework tonight, finish it out. Simple as that. Same lessons Tuesday and Wednesday. Calculators in the right places.
I'm surprised at the grade that I got this quarter.
I don't
That's
remember
like
what you
the
got.
highest grade I ever got. I got 97.
Nice.
In
Sweet.
math.